first portion of the evening, we'll have a reading by Joel Felix, who is a dear friend and a great poet, and lives now here in Seattle, and we're happy to have him. So with that.
Oh, thanks. It's with really more pleasure than I can say to be able to read with Tom, whom I've known for several years and I admire tremendously. And so I'm inordinately nervous, and I brought work that I will back. However, I am backing this work. I'm here to stand behind this work, and then I am here to turn it over to Tom. So I thank Pilot, and I thank Summer. And this is a little institution that we have here in Seattle that is a remarkable thing to come into place. And I'm happy that we can be a part of it today. So I'll just do a few poems, and thinking maybe about 20 minutes, could be a little bit less. We'll try to beat that. No smoking addendums. That fly is dizzy with sugar and shit. You need to do something about it. The necklace says it's done with notice. You pay monthly for the wet clouds to wipe your eyes. Acorns cracking in the pre-dawn parking lot will stay there at your expense, so mind your clock. The self-life. Spoiled light and broken milk grows in place a Hebrew Chattanooga. Before the belly untucked the light from my eyes to blind this plain of oblivion, it was the cup of the weather, a turning point for days without decomposition. Bar worker, my artful lies, your honor. This is called Geometric Close. Invite language hopping home. Sing a map of startled birds as you find yourself wandering the upholstered sphere. The yew trees lend a curtain that comes down to like minds. Extirpate the toxin from needles and bark for tea. Polyps bear arms in every gable, 5 pennies a pound. I can see now. I can see. It's not about having power. Think of Tatiana taking a long look at who is using her realm to attempt mating with long, solid rock shapes. That's her life. With horror, I opened this toolbox. The hope was to raise manageable chunks from the ice sheet, but when at last they were spotted, the penguins had given up. So Tatiana goes home, something clicking in her leg. Tatiana, parts of water in a river sliding with other parts of a river sliding down. Go into the building that doesn't finish what's predicted by its base. Follow the arrows, then turn around. The arrows follow you. Remand, master monster. The sextet has couplets. I laugh in your belly, you laugh in my thighs. We ride the one extensive blizzard, doing nothing to stop the execution of the reward plan. The house is hostility. To be taught the piano is to fall in love with the awe of causing love, and neither remedy the house or what this street stood for. Shaylin. Alder falls and parched grass on the pass, flying trash and spitty tubes, sipping Sprite. My head blinked red light. It was more hills, underfunded sword ferns, sporulating in plain air. I liked big orange birthday cake and black hair drying brown. There are robins. It's the vernacular. All hearsay, siskin and clover, and the jack pine making creative use of difficult plots. White-bellied swallow on fixed blue wing, little quizzing what gets a bit runic. Building slivers driving by, self-playing chip. Fine wood fighter, fiber, aloft, spun by the trees. The shoreline is all it needs. Plastic mechanical pumps, a rough line of grass topped by ivy shine. Custom plantings, then hedge apple. A dying ant calls for this jubilee. A cancellation of debts, a flocking sky, light descending this sheet with no hope and no desire of escaping temporariness. This is brand new. Last week. It's called On Pharmakos Farm. Pharmacy, the root in Greek is actually comfort and not Marcos. On Pharmacos Farm, pain, come join me, flossing loopholes neath the spiny tree, for time has difficulty rolling uphill, to where I dwell in this, my forest I made, from foams of colored fire, tense as the turtle shell. Unto the heart's forest I fleeth, from nothing consecutive, on cloud-imitated mountain, cluster and clearing, white flash on the backs of birds, the sound of cinnamon. What you have on Pharmacos Farm, flagging the cabin scatter, no cooling herb, lots of bloodless flowers at the bottom of summer, paper hearts. Hospital song. Flares of brass and bottles of breath make a basket of speech to call for another, call it a day, a light summer rain crackling on the shell. I found a small red animal in the word avuncular, one of the predaceous walking sticks, his scarlet gums, the parallax eyes on the medicine lines, dispatching so quickly with this new system. And kind of flying here. The last poem is called Vista Franchise, and it's a bit longer. And those of you who were at the Henry reading here in July, I think it was, heard some of this. But it's Vista, there's a slash in franchise. It's Vista Franchise. There's a break. So, Vista Franchise. Naked rose the partially perceptible gymnasium. A single-winged seed ticks on plastic lumber, its salix. Curtains for the cherry petals. The day in word optimum face down, robbing the breath of the earth. For Vista, franchise, its pollen pantaloons. And by what clearing? The action of class. What transcendental comfort once coupled in public? Imagination. Should justice cause justice, the confessional of friends extended across great territorial wealth, democracy on the plains descend with eyes cast down on the soil for its rent, and its imitative topos, spray border. Junco flees, hitch heron, relay robs relay, monkey, mimic, monkey, state identification, semblable, sabe, spirit, copy. And what is window washing at night in monkey? The answer may lie in franchising. We assembled to sign the cast en masse, its birding, pelagic, glaucous, the slopped, erotic American mind correct of something? Raw franchise farm sounds, moo moo, oink oink, among the animal replicants, stiff stand of poplar, the whole dome shooting down to imitate my senses and share power in my blood, my eyes, the blood, the eyes of what exact fantasy? Strung the curve of this turtle figure, I carved from the curving, curing spirit, mulines and mulines, aeons of animal motion. And saw, rose litter, street drain, wing-like, feather-like, fin-like, palmiated trace, and the berries interposed. Beauty wants to see itself, lavish and dropped eagle blood, 50s vintage adding machines, the surf outs, molecules of juice flowing in the peculiar glory, the blushing corolla descent. Use this manual to find the movable vista made mauve, anywhere cookies and cathedral palms cracked lengthwise by a century of lamping. What enfranchised this poem over the phone in Los Angeles? Between Mars and the crescent moon, the answer may lie in franchising. The cinema formed in my eyes the textured pen of this faint band last evening. Franchise Bison, Franchise Gator, these are websites. Franchise Bison, Franchise Gator, expanding in canal, hurtled hectare. Was suffrage from Rome, franchising. In German Francs, their liberty, the free-flying axe as seen from the Roman chariot. For sale, operation, and distribution of health, beauty, retail, and business services. We are riding. What are we riding? We are riding velocity's cushion, torque, drift. What are we riding? Solar fountain. The lake found a way through here before. What are we riding? Wheeling of the shadow, hostilities of corn, and daughters in the gorge calling us home, calling what calls knows purse land to burn and touch. What are we riding? Small tears in mitochondria, the water crawling back from its salt, with no speech to hide tactics, red skies racing half-track, fuel pump, plasma tuck, walking its shadow backwards over chiclets and chiclets forming protein from the soil. What are we riding? Terrine fountain, minerals sifted from the